This year has already been packed with massive titles to compete for your attention, whether you play on a Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, Xbox console, or PC. Admittedly, some of these titles are ones that we had anticipated last year but got delayed. There are plenty of exciting games coming up regardless of the platform you're playing on. Here's our guide to the top 10 upcoming video games of 2023. Number 10. Alan Wake 2. After 13 years, the long-awaited return of Alan Wake will soon be hitting consoles. The original followed writer Wick, who sees the events of his horror novel come to life in real time. The original became something of a cult classic, and fused tense gameplay, original story, and narrative structure. In Alan Wake 2, we follow Wake after he's been imprisoned in an alternate dimension for 13 years. Your mission? To escape by writing a horror story to an FBI agent who can hopefully rescue you. With gameplay that conjures up images of True Detective Season 1, as well as more than a few jump scares, we have high hopes for Alan Wake 2. Number 9. Metal Gear Solid 3. Solid Snake meets real Snake in Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, a game that sees the brooding mercenary go full Rambo. Snake Eater is supposed to be a pretty true to the title remake of Hideo Kojima's masterpiece, albeit without his actual involvement. We don't have any gameplay footage yet, only a few cinematic shots. We don't get much from those, either. We see jungle critters being eaten, an anaconda, we think, fighting a crocodile or alligator, and Solid Snake emerging from a swamp. But if the remaster of Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater is anything like the original, it'll be the strongest game in the series. Number 8. Stalker 2. The fourth game in the Stalker series from Ukrainian dev 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐵, part of 𝐸𝐸, will send you back into the exclusion zone around the infamous nuclear power station to survive, shoot monsters, and take on weird radioactive anomalies. The original game, released back in 2007, featured a hive mind created from 7 linked scientists, so who knows what the team has come up with to top that. A first-person game set in a true open world, part of 𝐸𝐸, is being developed for the Unreal Engine 5. It should look excellent by taking advantage of the latest graphics technology, including ray tracing. Number 7. Mortal Kombat 1. Not to be confused with the first Mortal Kombat in 1992, Mortal Kombat 1 is a reboot of sorts, but with a twist. The classic Mortal Kombat universe has been reborn by fire god Liu Kang, who came out victorious in Mortal Kombat 11. Is this new world devoid of gore, violence, guns and head-rippy-offy battle scenes? Not quite. The announcement trailer is as gruesome and bloody as ever, so viewers should be warned, but what else did you expect? The Mortal Kombat franchise is basically Smash Brothers for 80s dads, so rest assured the newest outing will come with some throwback, playable characters. Available at launch, the game will come with a Johnny Cage character skin that holds the likeness of professional leg splitter Jean-Claude Van Damme. Number 6. Marvel's Spider-Man 2. One of the most popular PlayStation exclusives of one of the most popular superheroes, a sequel to Marvel's Spider-Man is a no-brainer. Following the well-received Miles Morales expansion, it also makes sense that this time you'll be able to play as both Peter Parker and Miles versions of the web-slinger as they take on new villains Kraven the Hunter and fan-favorite Venom. Little else has been revealed so far, though we're hoping for a more interesting shakeup of the open-world formula to accompany the already awesome feeling of swinging around the city. Number 5. Lies of P. There's no shortage of Pinocchio adaptations out there, but somehow the wooden boy persists in influencing new generations. His latest outing comes in Lies of P, which looks to Batmanify the Italian folkloric tale by making the original story darker than it already is. You play as Pinocchio, or P in this instance, who wakes up in a train station with a single note beside them that reads "Find Mr. Geppetto. He's here in the city." That may sound like a Hitman contract, but it isn't. Rather, Lies of P takes place in an alternate Victorian era, and Pinocchio is rocking a robotic arm that can be upgraded with new weaponry and robot-killing gadgets. The gameplay seems to take influence from Kingdom Hearts, but if Sora was transported to Revolution-era France. We just hope it lives up to its lofty expectations. Number 4. Baldurs Gate 3. Baldurs Gate 3 has been in early access for what seems like forever, but it's finally been given a release date. And the signs look good. Part of the trend for modern sequels to cherished game series from yesteryear, the previous Baldur's Gate release was in 2000. This comes from Larian Studios, the dev behind the Divinity original Sin games. As a result, it's looking like becoming the definitive Baldur's Gate experience. It's a top-down role-playing game set in a fantasy world based on the D&D 5th edition rules. Your character, whatever you choose to be, has been infected with a brain parasite and travels the world trying to get it removed. It's a pretty specific plot, yes, but Baldur's Gate 3 is said to be one of the biggest releases of 2023. Number 3. Hollow Knight, Silksong. Made by just a team of 3 people, Hollow Knight is an indie Metroidvania that has just grown and grown in cult status since first releasing in 2017. Unsurprisingly then, anticipation for its follow-up Silksong has reached fever pitch. Set in a haunted world of bugs, but presented in a gorgeous hand-drawn style, you played as the Nimble Hornet, previously a deadly antagonist in the original game, facing all new enemies and all new challenges as you try and making your way up to the top of the kingdom you've been imprisoned in. Number 2. Super Mario Bros. Wonder. With Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Nintendo seems to have completely uprooted the Art Deco-esque style of recent Mario outings, in favor of something that looks straight out of a Beatles video during the trippy years. There's a whole bunch of additions to play with warp pipes that come to life and a strange new item called a Wonder Flower that transforms stages. Oh, and Mario turns into an elephant now. Number 1. Starfield. Bethesda's first major new open-world IP since The Elder Scrolls and Fallout, Starfield sounds galactically colossal in scope. It's then perhaps no surprise that the game was delayed from its original November 11th date in 2022, hopefully to break the studio's reputation for buggy releases or avoid comparisons with the divisive launch of another vastly ambitious space sim No Man's Sky. But while Starfield is set amongst the stars where you can assemble your own customized spacecraft to visit over 1,000 worlds across over 100 systems, it's still at heart an action RPG where you will get to choose your alliances or fight space pirates in either first or third person with a mix of shooter and melee combat. Please note that release schedules for video games often change, and new games might be announced in the future. Keep an eye on official announcements and gaming news outlets for the most up-to-date information on upcoming video games in 2023. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more videos, and thanks for watching.